I hope that you are having an amazing day so far. All right, so today we are going to be doing our grade 5 English lesson on perfect verb tenses. So we're going to be doing our grade 5 English lesson on perfect verb tenses. And before we start with our lesson, we are going to log into aplusstudents.ca. We're going to log in with our username as well as our password. Once you have logged in with the username and password, and then you're going to select the subject of language arts and then grade 5. All right, so once we have selected grade 5, and then you're going to scroll down up until we get to perfect verb tenses. Oopsie. So in our previous lesson, we also did perfect verb tenses, but we did the two lessons. We did to use the perfect verb tenses, and we also chose or choose between the past tense and past participle. That was in our previous lesson, right? So today we are only going to focus on the one lesson, which is to form the perfect verb tenses. All right. So when it comes to forming the perfect verb tenses, right? Our chapter is perfect verb tenses. Our subject that we're doing today is English Language Arts, grade 5. And our focus lesson is to form the perfect verb tenses. And we are doing all of this like our language, we are doing a tutorial on aplusstudents.ca. We're doing it at aplusstudents.ca. So if you do want to go back, recap, go over the lesson, and then you can go to aplusstudents.ca. The chapter, subject, grade, as well as lesson is on the screen. All right. So now we're going to start. We said the perfect tense, it usually describes a completed action, right? So the perfect tense, it describes a completed action. And it tells us about something that has, had, or will have happened. So it tells us about something that has, had, or will have happened. And when you hear words like has, had, or will have happened, then definitely it tells us about either in the present, past, or future, right? That is basically what it is telling us, that we are going to be finding out more about the present, things happening in the past, and things that is happening in the future. And to form the perfect verb tense, we need to use a form of the helping verb to have. So we need to use the form of the helping verb to have with the past participle of the main verb. So which means that the helping verb is basically helping the main verb, right? In order for us to see which tense it will be. Will it be in the present? Will it be in the past? Or will it be in the future? For most verbs, the past participle is the same as the past tense form. All right, so if we look at this one picture at the bottom that says present perfect tense, right? Remember we said that we have different tenses. It tells us about different tenses, which is has, had, or will have happened. So it is either telling us about the present perfect tense, past perfect tense, or future perfect tense. And here we have an example at the bottom of the present perfect tense. And the present perfect tense, it's an event that happened in the past but affects the present. So it's an event that happened in the past, but it is basically affecting the present. For example, he has broken his leg. He has broken his leg. The second one is she has finished her chores. So as you can even see, the helping verb is has. So a helping verb is has. She has finished her chores. And we have arrived in Hawaii. So this is basically the present perfect tense. And it is an event that happened in the past, but it affects the present. So he has broken his leg. So broken being the main verb, has being the helping verb. So has broken. She has finished. And we have arrived in Hawaii. All right. So now if we also look at these words, right, the perfect tenses. And we said that we, like the perfect tenses, uses a form of the verb to have, which is has, had, or have. So has, had, have, or will have, right? And that shows the perfect tense. And also it is used to show a completed action. And remember we said when it comes to the different tenses, and then it is about present tense, past tense, as well as future tense. All right. All right, so now we're going to our tutorial page on aplusstudents.ca. We are going to aplusstudents.ca. And remember, we said that we did our 2 lessons already, right? Which is to use the perfect verb tenses and to choose between the past tense and the past participle. So now today we're going to form the perfect verb tenses. So the perfect tense, it usually describes completed actions, and it tells about something that has, had. So it tells us about something that has, had, or will have happened. And to form the perfect tense, we use a form. So to form the perfect verb tense, we use a form of the helping verb to have with the past participle of the main verb. And for most verbs, the past participle is the same as the past tense form. And for most verbs, the past participle, did we say, is the same as the past tense form. All right, so now we're basically going to go over the present tense, um, the present perfect tenses. We're going to go over the past perfect tenses as well as the future perfect tenses. All right, so the present perfect tense, all right, it tells about something that has happened or started already. So the present perfect tense, it tells about something that has happened or has already started or has started already. So it basically just uses the present tense form of the helping verb to have, which is has or have. So we use has, we use have. And an example is the airplane has arrived at the gate already. And John and Erica have played the violin for 5 years. And then we have the past perfect tense. So we say that the past perfect tense, it tells about something that had already happened before. And that is why we call it the past. So it is the past perfect tense, which tells about something that had happened before something else. And it uses the past tense form of the helping verb, which is had. And an example of the past perfect tense is we had finished dinner by the time Tim arrived. And an example of the past perfect tense, right, that tells us about something, and we see that we use the word had. It says, for example, we had finished dinner by the time Tim arrived. We had finished dinner by the time Tim arrived. And our helping verb is had. So we had finished dinner by the time Tim arrived. And then we have the future perfect tense, right? It's things that is in the future. And the future perfect tense, it tells about something that will have happened by a certain point in the future. It uses the future tense form of the helping verb, which is will have. The race will have started by noon tomorrow. So the race will have started by noon tomorrow. And there we have will have on in that sentence. So once again, the future perfect tense, we say it tells us about something that will have happened by a certain point in the future. So it will have happened. And remember, if you see the word will have, or you see basically the two words will and have, all right. So will have within that sentence, the race will have started by noon tomorrow. So will have, it gives us an indication that it's in the future. So basically, perfect verb tenses, it usually describe completed action. The perfect verb tense, it usually describe completed action. So perfect verb tenses, it tells us about something that has had or will have happened. And in order for us to form the perfect verb tense, we need to use the form of the helping verb to have with the past participle of the main verb. And for most verbs, the past participle is the same as the past tense form. All right. If we look at this first sentence, right, it says we need to complete the sentence with the present perfect form of the verb, which is, for example, the dinner. The dinner So we need to complete the sentence with the present perfect form of the present, meaning now, right? The diner replaced its old chairs with bright color new ones. So the diner replaced its old chairs with bright new ones. I think I need to rewrite this one over so it can be clearer to see. And that is diner, not dinner. The diner so basically the diner replaced its old chairs with the bright new ones, which means that they got rid of the old chairs and then they got new brighter ones, right? So if we look at the perfect verb tense, right, we now need to add the either has, have, or will have. All right. So we basically need to complete the sentence with the present perfect form of the tense. And I think we also need to add either has or have, had or will have um, to basically complete that sentence, right? And remember, we said we use has or have if we want to make mention about the present. We use had about the past, and we will mention will have to talk about the present. So the diner replaced its old chairs with bright new one. So the diner, do we say has replaced or have replaced? All right, so we can basically say the diner has replaced. So we say has replaced. So we say the diner has replaced its old chairs with bright new ones. So has replaced. So has replaced, it basically shows the perfect form or the present perfect form within that sentence. So instead of just saying the diner replaced its old chairs with bright ones, we are now saying the diner replaces or the diner has replaced its old chairs with bright new ones. So has replaced. All right, let's go to the next one. We need to complete the sentence with the present perfect form of the verb. So the present perfect form. All right. So our neighbor, do we say have planted or has planted? We need to choose the correct one. So we're going to say our neighbors have planted rose bushes in the front yard. So our neighbors have planted rose bushes in the front yard. Have planted. But have planted is our present perfect form of the verb. All right, so now we need to complete the sentence with the present perfect form of the verb. Kwan, do we say has signed or have signed? So the next one, our neighbors, do we say have planted or has planted the bushes in their front yard? Kwan signed, do we say have signed or has signed? So we can say Kwan have signed. So we are completing the sentence with the present perfect form of the verb yes. The first one was have planted, but we already did that one. So now we're going on to the next one, which is Kwan signed the contract already. And we said have signed. Sorry, that's so have planted is correct, and the next one is have signed. So Kwan signed the contract already. So if we are just fixing it, then we can say Kwan have signed the contract already. So Kwan have signed the contract already. Yes, have signed is correct. All right. So once again, we say that the perfect tenses, right? It usually describes completed action and it tells about something that has, had, or will have happened. And we said it is specifically to do with the present, the part, the past, as well as the future tenses, right? All right. If we look at the next one, it says the editor suggests a new title for the novel. This is also our present perfect form. Do we say has or do we say have suggested? Do we say has or have suggested? The editor suggests a new title for the novel. So we can then say the editor. So basically it's have suggested. So we say have suggested. So to complete the sentence, we say the editor have suggested a new title for the novel, meaning that you need to come up with a new title for this book or novel, right? So do we say have suggested or do we say has suggested? So it's not even have, it is has suggested. So we basically say it has suggested. Sorry, it is has suggested. So has is our present tense or the present perfect tense. Over the years, the adobe walls crumble. Sorry. Uh, so over the years, the adobe walls they crumble. Yes, has is correct. So over the years, the adobe walls crumble. So now we need to say if it has crumbled or do we say have crumbled. We need to basically put the correct helping verb in that sentence. So if we look at the correct words, we can then say, over the years, the adobe walls have crumbled. So they have crumbled, right? Remember, we need to also add the helping verb, either has or have. So that is why we said this is the verb tenses. So the adobe walls either have or has crumbled. All right. And the last one. Our neighbors plant rose bushes in the front yard. Our neighbors plant rose bushes in the front yard. So basically, we will say our neighbors planted. So we can then say here, have planted. So have planted 3 bushes in the front yard. So have planted. All right. Now let's go to our test. This is now where we're going to either choose has or have, right? We need to complete the sentence with the present perfect form of the verb. The paper towel absorb all the water. So do we say the paper towel absorb all the water? So the paper towel, do we say has absorbed or will absorb the all the water? So let's say the paper towel has absorbed or has absorbed all the water. Yes, so beautiful. Has is correct. Has absorbed is correct. The editor, do we say suggest, has suggested, or will suggest a new title for the novel? So we can then basically say, do we say suggest, has suggested, or will suggest? So compare the sentences to with the present perfect form of the verb editor. So the editor, we can say, has suggested. Let me. So has suggested, right? So we will say the editor suggest, has suggested, or will suggest. Yes, has is correct. So sometimes have and has can be very confusing, right? But as long as we know which tense to use. So has is correct. So well done. The diner replace its old chairs with bright new ones. Do we say replace, will replace, has replaced? The diner replace its old chairs with bright new ones. Do we say replace, will replace, or has replaced its old chairs with bright new ones? All right, so if we choose our correct present perfect form of the verb, we will say has replaced, which is C, which is has replaces. And well done, that is correct. We need to complete the sentence with the present perfect form of the verb. Over the years, the adobe walls, do we say crumble? Or the adobe walls have crumbled or will crumbled? So over the years, the adobe walls, do we say crumble, have crumbled, or will crumble? Remember, we need to either add our helping verb. Our helping verb either has or have. We need to add our helping verb, which is either has or will or have. So over the years, the adobe walls, do we say crumble, have crumbled, or will crumble? All right, so if we choose the correct one, we will say have crumbled. So over the years, the adobe walls have crumbled. And this is basically still the present perfect form of the verb, have crumbled, right? So not crumble, because we basically now changing that form into the present perfect form of the verb. Will crumble means that is in the future. So we can say have crumbled. All right, so have crumbled is correct. So well done. It's the last one. Quan, do we say Quan sign the contract already, or Quan will sign the contract already, or Quan has signed the contract already? Which one is the correct present perfect form of the verb? So sign, will sign, or has signed. All right, so we can say Quan has signed. Yes, so has signed, because remember, we either need to use our helping verb to assist our main verb, right? And we are still doing it in the present perfect tense. So has signed. Yes, well done. Has signed is correct. All right, so we basically said that our present perfect form or present perfect tense, it usually describes completed action, and it tells us about something that has, had, or will have happened. And to form the perfect tense, we need to use a form of the helping verb, right? To have with the past participle of the main verb. And we see that for the most verbs, the past participle is the same as the past tense form. And then we went over the present perfect tense, the past perfect tense, as well as the future perfect tense. And we said that with the present perfect tense, we use the helping verb has or have. The past perfect tense, we use had. And the future perfect tense, we use will have to complete our action. All right, grade 5, that is now the end of our lesson on perfect verb tenses. Thank you very much for joining the class. Thank you very much for interacting. You should have a good evening further. Goodbye.